Take what is yours, claim
Ah,
what is ours. Woman, take one and all of your powers.
ah.
Woman of peace, take war from the world. Woman of silence, this song is yours.
Shalom, salam, the wholeness within me welcomes you to another womb bliss transmission. And it has been a minute since I've came here live on the womb bliss community here on our private Facebook group. And I've been reflecting this past 4 months since I have last posted here. I am delighted to be able to show up here again after truly 4 months of epic initiations. So we are in the cauldron of this supercharged, potent Lioness gateway. What I'm describing and journeying with in embody the pharaoh feminine alchemical mysteries. So some of you might be familiar with my work with Sekhmet, but in the last uh, yes, 5 to 7 years, I've been working directly with Sekhmet and I've been receiving her mysteries, which I describe as the pharaoh feminine alchemical mysteries. And the way that Sekhmet shows up to me and the way that I work with her and that I share her wisdom is through her triad expression. So that is Bastard, Hathor, and Sekhmet. So if you're familiar with these three uh Kemetic Egyptian goddess, we have Bastard, which is the cat feline goddess, and then we have Hathor, which is the goddess, the cow goddess, the goddess of music, beauty, the feminine arts. She is that cosmic milk, as Sekhmet is the menstrual blood. So Sekhmet mysteries are very potent, very alchemical, and they are all about that death rebirth. It's a very fiery initiation. And still, the way that we are journeying here at Womb Bliss with Sekhmet, it is in her triad expression. So we are also journeying with the Bastard, the cat goddess, Hathor, the cow goddess, and then Sekhmet, the lioness. But it's not a journey for the fainted of hearts. This is a journey for the courageous women, the brave women that are willing to walk through the fire of transformation, allowing the sacred flames of their pharaoh feminine to burn whatever or dissolve or melt, whatever that stands on the way of your own alchemical embodiment, of your own radiance, the embodiment of your soul radiance. And then, of course, never, just trying to see what's going on here. So we are never, ever walking alone in this journey. So we have the support of our ancestors and all the women before us that have walked this pharaoh feminine path. And I, as a facilitator and container holder of this body of work that has been coming forward through my own personal journey to the teachings that Sekhmet and her triad expression have shared with me, as well as living in Egypt, holding womb awakening and feminine mysteries retreats and initiations here in Egypt, and online working with Sekhmet in a variety of containers in the last 4 to 5 years. And of course, I have to go through that fire myself. And now, tomorrow, on the 8/8 Lioness Gateway portal, it's gonna mark 4 months from the solar eclipse that we had on April 8th. So we had a really powerful lunar eclipse on the 25th of March, and then following by 8th of April, powerful solar eclipse. And for me personally, it has been such a powerful container from the solar eclipse of April 8th up until now. And I'm super curious to know how it has been for you, what has unfolded during this 4 months. And I invite you to actually take a moment today and tomorrow, but since I'm actually posting this today, so you actually can connect already today, what is it that you have been asked to walk through the fire of transformation and allowing old patterns, old memories, old transgenerational codes, old emotions, old relationships, old belief systems that needs to be dissolved to make space for more of your soul radiance, for more of your pharaoh feminine wisdom to rise and radiate from your being. So anything, when you choose to walk this path of remembrance, regardless, when you on yourself decide, that's it, I'm walking this path of remembrance, I will remember all the threads of my feminine tapestry that have been lost, distorted, or forgotten. Eventually, you will arrive at the space where everything that, energetic, emotional, psychological space, that everything that really no longer support your journey of remembrance will begin to fade away, to fall out, to melt. And because we are in a very, 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 very potent cauldron of transformation, collectively, cosmically, earthly, everything is conspiring. And when I mean collectively, I mean collectively on the forces of nature and the elemental beings and the stars, the cosmos, the earth, everything that is organic and, in harmony with the blueprint of life is conspiring for our remembrance, for our awakening, if you may, for our embodiment, for the remembrance of our alchemy, and for the activation ultimately of our DNA. So anything that stands, when you make that inner decision, when you make that inner commitment, when you decide, however, in whatever way you decide to walk this path of remembrance, depending on the level of commitment that you show up, which by choosing to walk this path of remembrance during these times that we are living, 2024, August 7, there is really no way that you will not be guided through whatever journey, whatever initiatory path, whatever experiences that are going to support your growth. So the key here is that inner desire to expand, to growth, to heal, to alchemize, whatever terms, whatever word you might use for it, I use alchemize, right? So we can blossom and become the portal, because that's what we as women, that's ultimately what we are here for. Each one of us have specific missions, or whatever contracts, however you want to define, um, uh, things that we came here to do. But ultimately, we are, as women, we are here to blossom into our womb bliss and become the portal. So embody this quality of being a portal, being a birther, being a creatrix, meaning you can give birth to your projects. You can give birth to babies as well, but just not necessarily only babies. You can give birth to your projects. You can give birth to dimensions, to timelines. And that's what Sekhmet is calling at this moment. She's calling the courageous, brave women that are ready to take their soul radiance, to take their soul gift and embody and bring forward a new tapestry, to bring forward the feral feminine mysteries back into the fabric of life by our courage to walk through the fires, by our courage to dive deep into the waters of feminine womb consciousness, by our courage to root deeply into the fertile, primal soil of the womb of Great Mother, to be um, courageous to branch out into the cosmic wisdom that it's available in the cosmos, in the womb of the galaxy, in the womb of the universe, as well as the planets, the stars, the sun. And this portal, the Lioness gateway portal, it's also a portal into Sirius. So it was very, very important for ancient Egyptians. It was during this time that they were celebrating the Egyptian New Year. It was during this time that the flooding of the Nile would happen, and all that fertility that it would bring into the banks of the Nile will be perfect fertilizers to grow and bring opulence to the land. So we are at the peak of summer. We are at the peak of the sun, and and there's massive sun storms and sorry, I'm getting confused here. What is the term in English? Yes, solar storms, and massive ones that actually are, you know, maybe you're feeling it. If you're not aware of it, maybe now you might realize why you're feeling like pressure in your head, why you might feel dizzy, why you might feel tired, why you might need to sleep more, because we are receiving so much plasma that it's coming from the sun as well as from Sirius, which is our central sun. So there's so much in the cauldron that is there is propelling us further into our embodiment, into birthing a new timeline, because this year is the year of birthing, giving birth to the blueprint of new earth. And that begins with ourselves. So on that level, on that note, on the personal level, I just want to share with you that this last 4 months for me has been one of the most intense initiatory periods of my life. Of course, I had many throughout my life, and of course, it's always changing, right? As a child, as a teenager, as in your early 20s and your late 20s, on your early 30s, on your late 30s. I'm gonna turn 40 this year, and I am in my Venus return this year as well. And then uh, also, Venus have just rise from the underworld. She was in the underworld for June, July. I don't know the date exactly. And she just recently have risen as an evening star. And now she is doing this ascending. So if you have heard of the story of Inanna or excuse me, or Ishtar, descending into the underworld and having to remove at each gate there are seven gates, and as she descends to the underworld to be initiated to go through a death and then rebirth, she has to release or let go one garnet at each gate. So she might leave her earrings, and then her necklace, and then her bracelet, and then her robes, and then her dress. There's each item that she's letting go at each gate. And the gates here are also the energy centers or the chakra gates. So that's a little bit more detailed information. But basically, what is important for you to know is that Venus represents the divine feminine, and she does this journey of, descending and then ascending during 19 months cycle. So now she's actually in her Leo meta goddess, and she's just rising from the gate after going into the underworld. And the myth goes that Inanna represent, like, Venus is Inanna, Venus is Ishtar. So Inanna or Ishtar descends into the underworld. She meets Eshkigal, which is her sister, her dark sister, the dark aspect of the goddess, that it is the gatekeeper of the underworld. And she has to release things. She has to let go of things in order to be rebirth. And that's a perfect example of what I was just telling you, that right now we are not even invited. There's no invitation anymore. If you have chose to walk the path of remembrance, if you chose innerly, if you made that decision, and you committed to it, then there is no being invited. You will just be pushed into whatever things that no longer are. You'll be pushed into situations, challenges, experiences that will actually invite you to release the old, release the outdated, release all that no longer aligned with your true nature. And in order to become that pharaoh feminine woman and embody the pharaoh feminine alchemical mysteries, you need to release, you need to let go. So I can say from my personal experience that this last 4 months has been so, so challenging, so difficult, to the point that just less than a week ago, I found out I have to leave Anatolia, Turkey, where I was leaving for 9 months. I had to leave last minute. That's one of the things I've been going through, that I had to leave last minute because of a situation. And then I was just really brought into Sinai, Egypt. And this is just perfectly aligned because that's where I need to be for the Lioness Gate. And I had that guidance, I had that feeling, but I was like, no, it's too hot. I don't want to leave my house. I have my dogs, my cat. But actually, no, it's not about that. It's about that I needed to come here. I needed to go through this whole journey again of losing a house, even though I didn't, losing a home, even though I didn't. Okay, it's completely different than before, but it's another situation it's a situation very close related to different to similar experiences I lived in the past, where I am displaced, where I am forced to go in exile. And that's one of my main transgenerational wound, as well as my feminine wound of being destitute of my wealth, of being taken from my temple, taken from my, you know, home, and then having to, be in exile. So I had this experience just happening, and I was devastated because first, I didn't want to leave Turkey. Second, I didn't want to leave my home. Third, I didn't want to leave my dogs. What am I, how am I going to do it and all? But yet now, a few days later, this actually happened this past Thursday. And being here today is Wednesday, I believe. And being here in Egypt, yes. So it's going to be 1 week tomorrow, exactly 1 week on the 8/8 that I had this very powerful situation. And as I went through the emotions, which was so intense, I was crying, I was feeling so overwhelmed. Why is this happening? Because that's another thing that I teach in my body of work, is that you must go through the emotions. There is nothing is forbidden in the feminine path. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So feeling sadness, feeling grief, it's actually an opportunity to open even deeper to bliss. There's no way to embody your bliss blueprint. There's no way to awaken your body bliss and to, reveal and remember your womb bliss if you don't allow yourself to feel grief and to feel the full spectrum of your emotions. What it's necessary is to learn how to navigate those emotions, so then you can actually utilize the power of your full spectrum femininity, and the power of your pharaoh feminine alchemical mysteries to or the power of your pharaoh feminine to turn into those alchemical mysteries, and then you can expand even further into your wisdom, into your bliss. But you must feel the feelings. So I was devastated, I was crying, and my body went in shock and a little bit of trauma even. I actually, this was last Thursday, and then Monday, I've received a very powerful water session, so water flow practice that actually brought so many things forward as well in a gentle way. And then, a couple of days later, Thursday, I got this news that I have to go. And like, as I mentioned, this is just part of one of my core transgenerational wounds, and wound in a wound that I received, that I've also experienced in this life as well. So I mean, I've lived in so many countries. I was never displaced from my home because of political reasons or war, but I actually was displaced of my home country, my birth country, Brazil, because of a war that was happening within my family. So I took the decision to leave the country and sort of go in exile, in order to start from the zero. So with all of that being said, we are in a very potent cauldron. I apologize for not showing up here before. It was just simply not possible with everything I was going through. I had my mother with me in Turkey for the month of April, March, May, and June, and she was sick for nearly 40 days, and I really thought she was gonna die. And while this is happening, there was a battle between, let's call good and evil. So there was lots and lots that was taking place in so many, many levels that I was just really not capable to show up here in the way that I want to show up. So I gave myself permission to take this time to go through this, womb hole of transformation, to then come back here, refresh and ready to give the next level of the teachings, of the transmissions that wants to come forward through me. In fact, today it took me nearly 1 hour to update the whole settings from sharing live on Zoom here on Facebook, because things have changed. And I'm sure you guys are aware and you can feel this in your life. Things are changing so fast. Everything is just shifting and changing in such a speed rate that you like you have, I mean, at least I am on the speed lane. So being on the speed lane, that means things are just really fast, but there's so much potential if you actually have the maps, if you have the tools that can support you to really rewrite your story and step forward into your feminine radiance, step forward into your womb bliss and your ability to be the portal, to be the creatrix. So I'm very excited for this Lioness Gateway portal. I feel so strongly. I mean, despite, as I mentioned, despite going through such a challenging situation and having to leave, in this last minute way, the way it happened, it just feels like the mother has called me to Sinai. The mother has brought me into the wilderness of Sinai, into this, primal, boiling hot container where, the the golden threads of feminine, pharaoh feminine alchemy is bursting out. I am preparing to go to St. Catherine today and to be there tomorrow, and just really receive this transmission from the land here that has called me and has literally sucked me out of Turkey and brought me here. And I just feel the potency of it. And that's what I want for you to tune in, whatever it's happening in your life right now, whatever challenges you're going through right now. Those challenges are doorways into your potentiality. Pay attention how you might be resisting the flow of life. Pay attention how you might be repeating patterns that no longer are serving you, how you might be holding into belief systems, holding into memories, holding into structures, holding into people, relationships that are not nourishing you. Pay attention, notice what is it that it's actually really coming up in your life right now. What are the signs? There might be a situation particularly that you might want to have a specific outcome, and just things are not flowing to that outcome. There might be a relationship that you want to be in a certain way and it's just not unfolding that way. There might be something with your work that you wanted to be in a certain way and it's not working. So just tap into what is life bringing for you right now. What is it that your journey is bringing for you right now that you might be holding tight to it because you are resisting or holding back from the natural flow of life. And like, I just want to wrap it up this here is that, from now on, I will be just really focusing on the pharaoh feminine alchemical mysteries, because that's what womb bliss is about initiating the wisdom that lives inside of you, bringing that forward so you can blossom into your bliss and become the portal. And There is no easy route for that, beloved one. There is no easy breezy love and light. No, this is a journey for the brave of hearts, for the courageous women that will walk through the fires of transformation, that will dive in the deep waters of feminine consciousness in order to retrieve the lost treasures and in order to embody their alchemical wisdom. So Sekhmet is present strongly. I'll be offering a different, variety of courses and transmissions, and I will share below this video my website page about Sekhmet, where I have a few free offerings, but I am called to offer all the courses, the transmissions, and the 21 days journey with Sekhmet, for anyone that feels the calling. So that will be a special price, as you're going to get all the courses together. You will have access to all the courses, everything from Sekhmet. So if you're interested, you might just, say yes on the comments or write to me privately or send an email. And I think we're getting a glitch here. Okay, so yes, let's just have a little yeah, I guess I will complete here and then I'll share a little video with you all here on invocation to Sekhmet, but I'll share that here for tomorrow. So yeah, let's just, before I close this container here today, I'm just gonna invite you to close your eyes for a moment and just put your right hand on your womb and your left hand in your heart. And just take a moment to take a few deep breaths and just feel this sacred flame that burns within you and also burns within the womb of Mother Earth, within the cosmic womb. And just feel into the waters of feminine consciousness. To just allow yourself to feel this fire and water, water and fire, this solar and lunar waves that moves through you. So just take a few deep breaths here as you connect with fire and the sun. And then you connect with water and the moon. And just allow your body to breathe in the sacred flame, breathe in the sacred waters. Just feeling yourself grounded into the fertile of Mother Earth, fertile soil of Mother Earth, receptive to the cosmic waves of plasmatic codes, solar codes, lunar codes, Sirius, the codes that Sirius is emanating for us, and Venus and all the other planets. Remember, as above, so below, as within, so without. So just take this period, this potent portal, to be receptive receptive to your ancestors, your foundations, what is below, as well as being receptive to your soul, um, wisdom, your cosmic ancestors, and all that is above. This is a really, really powerful time, powerful portal for liberation, for abundance and manifestation. It is a feral feminine portal, and I am delighted and honored to return back here during this portal. So thank you for being here with me live. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay and just share any insights, any questions. From my heart, womb bliss to yours.